Today I'm going to read bad reviews or okay reviews on movies that I love, and the movie in today's video is going to be Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And you can see my rating under the 4.5 star out of 5 stars I gave the movie. You'd expect more substance and originality from this director. What do you mean? What do you mean no originality? This movie... Oh my god. Okay, I don't agree with that one. Instead, this feels very... I have no idea what that word means. Even Del Toro doesn't seem to make his influence felt. Too heavy-handed and cliched for me. Alright. A demo of a cancelled video game is still the most interesting thing. Something been involved with since Pan's Labyrinth. I just don't get it with him at all. André Øvredal's last 2 films, Autopsy of Jane Doe and Troll Hunter, were absolutely super brilliant, so hopes were high for this film. Unfortunately, this one isn't anywhere near as good. It just feels like standard mainstream American horror that literally anyone could have directed. There's certainly not a personal touch to this at all. It's not all out awful. I quite like the characters. They make a nice bunch and none are annoying. Ramon and Stella make a nice couple, and Chuck has some funny moments. I agree. Some of the creatures are pretty cool too. I always love a scarecrow, though the one here is really underused. The creature that falls apart and puts itself together again is actually pretty creepy, and the relentlessness of it works well. The film just never really gels together, and by the last half hour, it totally loses all momentum and just kind of limps over the finishing line. I don't know. A very good film that hits mainly all the right notes. It gave me what I needed from a horror, and that's the main thing. Had a decent story and executed very well. I don't want to keep saying the same things on a review over and over again, so I'm going to just say it was a very good horror movie, and it's good. I changed my mind about another film for this challenge at the last second for today and added this instead. You gave the movie a 3 out of 5 stars. A very good... I wouldn't call that very good. Giving a movie 3 out of 5 stars, in my opinion, means that I think the movie's okay. And 3.5 stars means good, 4 stars means very good, 4.5 stars means really good, 5 stars means amazing. Yeah. Well, sure, I guess I agree with... I think I would have loved this in my early mid-teens. It's a fun, especially if you're familiar with the stories, spooky Halloween movie targeted towards a younger audience. Not really, the movie has some extremely creepy moments. I don't know, man. But when it comes to recent US horror, I'm too spoiled by Ari Aster, Robert Eggers, and Jordan Peele at this point. This horror has some legit effective scares mixed in with awful dialogue. It wasn't awful dialogue. It's a fucking teen horror movie. What do you expect? Okay, I'm sorry, but... and terrible CGI. Terrible CGI? I love the CGI. Wow. It drags a bit, but the scary moments make up for the long run time. I agree with that last one very much. Terrible CGI, I definitely don't agree with. I think the CGI in this movie, I thought it was really good. Scary Stories suffers from what most PG-13 horror movies suffer from, and that's the lack of focus on the target audience. It is intense at times, and I have to give it major props for that, but it's also full of elements that are clearly targeting way younger kids. Really? Wait, really? Are you sure? I never felt the proper balance of the two. It's almost like this is supposed to be made for an audience younger than It Chapter 1. What? Wait, where did you get that from? But older than Goosebumps. Yet it reaches far beyond and below both. Overall, the movie did manage to impress me in ways I wasn't expecting. When they don't lazily go for the conventional jump scare, they manage to evoke emotions that I haven't felt in a horror film all year. This has the scariest imagery of 2019 so far, which is impressive for a PG-13 movie. It also holds some of the more intriguing use of practical effects I have seen in a while. With Del Toro's name attached, of course it is going to feel that way, but it did a great job as a whole. The group of kids that we are supposed to care about came off as interesting enough, but not a group that stands out. They weren't as interesting as the Losers Club. They didn't have as much personality as the Strange Things kids. Yeah, definitely not, but it's hard to compare. Yeah, and the acting was just on an okay level. Well, I thought the acting was really good. Stella was the best of the bunch, but even she didn't feel as compelling as they were intending. I continued to find myself wanting to skip the interactions and get right to the scary stories. When the stories were playing out, I was completely locked in. When the body horror, creature designs and set designs were being showcased, I was beyond happy. The film just never quite comes together like it intends to. It's a bit choppy, slow at the beginning, and the third act makes choices that didn't work. The final scene is interesting, but it also feels a bit cheap. Overall, there is definitely enough to appease fans of the source material. It's the ultimate scary movie for a tween/young teenager, and it will be one that they grow up with loving. Should there have been 5-year-olds in my theatre? Probably not, because it was way more intense than the parents probably expected. But it did add to the enjoyment on my end. Overall, it's a fun theatrical experience. I agree with a few of the things. Yeah, this isn't... I just watched this movie today for the third time. Because Scary Stories 2 is going to come out, hopefully, sometime. I don't think they have done a release date yet, but I think it's going to come out in, 2025 or something. I don't know what to say. I agree with a few of these, not that many